It's the style of the quarterback, the inability to get a playoff in on time. Keep listening and telling the guy where to throw the ball. He's limited. Without further ado, our friend Howard Eskin joins us now here on the program. Howard, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm just great. I'm just absolutely sensational. But we knew Patullo was going to be out because there's so much outrage, people egging his house, his kids getting abused in school. I mean, it's disgraceful what Eagles fans do to somebody. And we all know, whether you like the coach or not, it's not just one person. And you mentioned Jason Avant, and he said, the play call, he didn't like the play call. Well, maybe that's what Jason or Jalen wanted. But the other issue is he got to the line of scrimmage late, so he really couldn't change the play. And that's happened continually this year. And it's not because the plays are getting in late. But the reality is, but Jason Avant said, I don't care what the play call is, and I'm paraphrasing, you can't throw into triple coverage when it's your season. You've got to find a way to try to extend the play. And is that Kevin Patullo's fault? You can blame him that he threw into triple coverage. You can't. And actually, there was a fourth player there too, I think, in the area. I mean, what is he doing? Like, it's just, you can say what you want about the coaches, but the players have to make plays. And that's not, you find another quarterback and I could pick any one of five that wouldn't have thrown that pass. Any one of five, but they're all top quarterbacks in the league. Is Jalen Hurts a top quarterback in the league? No, he's not.
I think the firing of Kevin Patullo was a fire. I think it was, whether he's there or not, it's not going to change what they do because the quarterback's still in the building.
I mean, you could bring in Bill Walsh. You think that would change? You could bring in, and Jimmy Johnson let his assistants, let his assistants make all the decisions, but he had some good people around him, and they were very successful with above average quarterbacks. I would say for the most part, Steve Walsh had a great year. What was it? Erickson had a nice year, but not star quarterbacks.
No.
But they made plays because they knew they couldn't throw in the triple.
I don't think Troy Aikman had all the superstar skill set. I think Troy Aikman played inside a sandbox. You had Michael Irvin. You had a phenomenal run game with Emmitt Smith. I think Troy played inside of a great system. I never looked at him and went, man, that's John Elway.
Yeah,
I never looked at him like that.
So, the coach is a good support system, but coaches will tell me, and they've told me in the past, that you don't want to run a play that the quarterback is not as comfortable with. So didn't they talk about that play before they ran the play? I mean, they all had to discuss the play. So if Jalen wanted a different play, do you think they would have run that play? No, they would have run a play that he was comfortable with. But that was an easy play. Not a lot of, and everybody, McCoy brought it up. LaShawn McCoy brought it up. Jason Avant brought it up when he was on the show with me last night. They don't run a lot of motion. They don't run because I don't know if the quarterback's comfortable with all that.
He's not.
Well, no, it's a question that already has an answer.
It's a rhetorical. Yeah, I get it. It's rhetorical. I get it. I mean,
okay, so Angelo can blame every coach in the world. He would have blamed Vince Lombardi. He would have blamed Bill Walsh. He would have blamed Chuck Noll. He would have blamed Tom Landry. He would have blamed Jimmy Johnson. He would have blamed them all. Was it Jimmy Johnson's fault when he couldn't win? He went to Miami, right? And he really couldn't win there because he didn't have the players. He didn't have all the players. But it really comes down to the players. And I don't know what I don't think, and the Eagles probably won't like me saying this. I don't think it's a good job.
Huh? The OC job's not a good job in your eyes.
Well, it's a good job if a guy's coming from. It's like John Harbaugh worked his way up from a special teams coach. So if you're working your way up, depending
Or
on
maybe
what
a guy like Kellen who'd been fired twice from
who
Dallas. Kellen Moore, who had been fired twice. He got fired from Dallas and he got fired from the Chargers.
Okay. So, but you take a job to take the step up. So you'll do that. I've heard the name Josh McCown. Josh, I don't think Josh was here when Jalen was here. And who's he with? Tennessee now? Is he with Tennessee?
Yeah. He wasn't here.
And no, and I don't know. I mean, he would take the job to take a step up, but he's a quarterback. But again, you've got to get the quarterback to buy into everything you want to do. So you don't think after all these years,
We're going into year 7 too, by the way, with Hurts.
Yeah, okay. And Nick Sirianni, what did he bring up? Put up something today which was kind of ridiculous at that news conference. The things that he's willing to do. Oh, he was willing to do take snaps under center. They almost. And I'm going to get a little strong. They almost had to beg Jalen Hurts to take snaps under center because he wasn't as comfortable. Kellen Moore couldn't do much of that last year, but they didn't have to worry about it because Saquon Barkley had such a tremendous year. So you got away with it, but they tried, and he's not comfortable because he's not 6'3" Tom Brady tall. But Drew Brees, how did Drew Brees handle
Are they
taking snaps
around Jalen Hurts' arrogance?
I don't think he's arrogant. I just don't think he's comfortable, and they don't want to.
Well, it's arrogant
to
think, though, Howard, that he's going to win games from the pocket.
Well, wait a minute. He's not a pocket passer.
Well, then why are you trying to make him one?
Well, the teams are making him one. The other teams, when they put 5-man fronts and they stop your running game and they cut off the edges. So the other teams are making him. Why is he
stopping running then? Why is he not running anymore like he did in 22, where he had over 760 yards? He just stopped doing that.
I think they're cutting off the edges. I think other teams, yeah.
Yep.
I think the teams are cutting off the edges and say because they want him to stay in the pocket.
Yeah.
They'll give him more time. I mean, I can see other teams and talking to a couple of coaches, not here but elsewhere. They want him to stay in the pocket because they don't think he's as good. And how many people have said that? Tom Brady.
4 seconds he gets in the pocket, and you're right, and he can't find an open guy.
I mean, it's just, you've talked to Kurt Warner. I've talked to Kurt Warner, Chris Sims, all these guys who know what they're talking about, who Tom Brady on the broadcast, he's just not as comfortable in the pocket, which is amazing. But he was never that kind of quarterback because he didn't have to do that. That's the way, most of these guys coming out of college now, they're all athletic and they all, if they don't find maybe the second progression, they kind of take off. But
Howard, this organization as well as anybody that is in that city. You tell me this BS about autonomy. Okay. How much autonomy are you going to give a new coordinator? And follow me here. You know what autonomy means to me? Well, that means I get to bring my own offensive passing coordinator. I get to bring in my own quarterback coach. I get to bring in my own O-line coach. How am I going to sell a vision on what I want my offense to look like when you're giving me your coaches to try to sell my vision? That's not autonomy. It's not just game and situational game calling on Sundays. Do you believe that organization's just going to bend over and go, hey, here's the offense. It's yours. Go ahead.
No, because they're going to – well, it depends on who they hire. Let's say when Ben Johnson was an offensive coordinator and obviously Detroit knew that he was good at what he did, you're going to allow him to have autonomy. The head coach still, if he doesn't like something, can change that. And, how many of those plays this year were the head coach, because you blame Kevin Patullo. That's another thing. And I like Nick Sirianni, and I think he's a very good coach, and I think he's creative, and I think he's a lot of things that are good about. People get caught up in his being very very animated on the sideline. And that's the bad. To say he's a bad coach because of that is ridiculous, because he still knows what he's doing. But how much of it was him? He said that he has taken over. He took over some of the play calling. So how much of that play calling was him? Do you think on that last play that Nick Sirianni wasn't involved in the play call?
Of course he was.
Okay. So you blame Kevin Patullo. I mean, it's just Kevin Patullo.
I think Kevin Patullo this week's irrelevant. I think the quarterback's style of play and who he is as a player in the pocket is the one thing that's consummate with all these changes. Why? Besides the fact that, listen, there's no doubt it's the same style of play. You could change all the coordinators you want, Howard. If you could bring new guys in, bring Mike McDaniel would have to change, like Kellen Moore changed. It's the style of the quarterback, the inability to get a playoff in on time, keep listening and telling the guy where to throw the ball. He's limited. The same pre-draft stuff that he struggled with coming out of Alabama is still there.
He doesn't acknowledge that he actually came from Oklahoma, because he wants people to say he talks about Nick Saban all the time. Nick Saban's the one that benched him for Tua. So, hey, listen, he's talented. He's a good quarterback. Yeah. Not a great quarterback. Right. And that's what it comes down to. And sometimes you need a great quarterback if you're going to win. Hey, when you really break this down, the offensive line wasn't as good, which then then the next level is then your running game isn't as good. Okay. And the defenses did some things to kind of take some of that away to force the quarterback to throw the football. So when you have these things, and the offensive line was the year before was the best in I think the best in the NFL. They weren't close to that this year. Injuries, losing a player. I think Cam Jurgens, who had surgery in the offseason, was probably banged up most of the year. Landon Dickerson is the toughest son of a gun I've ever seen. But he's always banged up, but he comes out there and he just gives you everything he's got. So I can't fault him. But again, then the offensive line isn't quite as good. So you can't do the same things. And if you're not going to be really, it goes down to the first thing I said. The offensive line and then the running game aren't the same. And now the quarterback has to be better.
Yeah, but Howard, let me here. Okay, and you're right. But I watched San Francisco with a limited O-line. Kittle's out. The defense is depleted. I saw Christian McCaffrey banged up. And there was practice squad guys on that team. And that team beat them because they were better coached. They didn't have the better. Would you not agree that San Francisco did not have a better roster than the Eagles rolling into that game? But they still out-coached them.
The more talented team doesn't always win. And because we know that
the coaching showed its head in that game.
Well, Shanahan did some good things, but I go one of the plays, McCaffrey, not the trick play, but the other play. Okay, where he came over, he just had everybody over on one side, and then McCaffrey's on the other side. But Purdy had to give himself a little more time in the pocket, so he stepped up. I don't know that you see Jalen Hurts step up. So he gave himself that extra half a second just so McCaffrey could get open over the middle.
And it pulls the linebackers and it pulls the safety up when you step up. It's brilliant. It's a great observation by you, because that's how you move defenders, with your feet and your head.
And so when you look at that, the Eagles, this is amazing. The Eagles scored less than 20 points against 7 winning teams this year. Less than 20 points. So they're supposed to think about that. Man. So they're supposed to be that talented but they scored less than 20 points. What did I tell you? I told you before this game, 24 is the number I look at to win the game.
Yeah.
And if the Eagles had 24, they won the game, but they didn't get to 24. All right. So, which is, whatever. When I brought up that number to Jason Avant last night, he says 24 points, I think he said, is 14th in the league in scoring.
Yeah.
The average of. So where is that? That doesn't put you among some of the top teams.
No.
That's not very good. That's not very good.
No.
But the reality is when they score less than 20 points against the 7 winning teams they played, that's not a good thing.
That's amazing here. Give me your overall synopsis of what you think of the 2025 season. Howard Eskin, the 2025 Philadelphia season, Eagles season was what? Missed opportunity?
No, they weren't good enough. I mean, I've been saying to people, they're a good team, but they're not a Super Bowl team. I think it was a failure because if you win one game and then you go on the road and lose, that's another thing. But if you don't win the first game and you're the division winner of a horse crap division, that division, just because they won the division, that division sucks. And John Harbaugh is going to make the Giants better. I don't know when, if it's next year or the year. They'll be better next year. I don't know if they'll be good enough. John Harbaugh is going to do it good. And he's got a quarterback. He went to a team with a quarterback.
That's right.
So you need a quarterback to win. And if Jackson Dart stays healthy, I think he's going to be – he's already shown that he can be a good quarterback. So but they lost the first game. So I think if I had to take one word, I think it was a failure. It's a failure when you don't win your only playoff game. How about this? And it's a gambling trend that I got from the guy that does my that I have on Saturdays. He's a handicapper. A team that wins as a home underdog the next week is winless in 16 games when they're again a home underdog. Who is that? Who is that? Chicago. Okay, Chicago won as a home underdog, and they're a home underdog again. I think they're 0-16. I don't know how far that goes back. So the Eagles, if they had won the game, they'd have some kind of history.
The chances of getting to the NFC Championship game,
they'd have some kind of history on their side. Chicago's not going to win against the Rams. The Rams are I think the best team in the NFC. But regardless, how about that trend? That's amazing. I threw you a bone. I throw all your people a bone
that you've done there with the points there. Do you move off of AJ Brown in the offseason?
I think you almost have to. The problem is you want to get something good in the draft and a pick, and he's making over $30 million a year. It's not an easy play. He's good. Again, I go back. Jason Avant is one of the most honest people I have. His honesty is refreshing because it doesn't happen that much with ex-athletes.
Absolutely.
He said, AJ's got probably 3 or 4 more good years left. And if he was with, I'll give you, where are the teams he mentioned? If he went to Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, or Sean McVay, he'd have an unbelievable year. Now, can the Eagles, he's a really good receiver, but can you go through this drama again if you're going to have some of these, like Wirtz is a bad word, but I'll use that, some of these issues come up again, even with
a noise. There was a whole ton of noise.
And Jason Avant said, and I kind of agree. It's probably, but you can't just give him away. It's probably better if he moves on. And you can find there's so many athletic and talented wide receivers, maybe not at AJ Brown's level, but can develop into that level, and maybe you can save some money because there's a lot of players that the Eagles have to spend money to keep.
I want you to give me an education lesson on Philadelphia. Okay. No, seriously, I want you to help me here. Okay. Because
Okay.
Xander has something. And listen, I played in the era when Randall played. I remember you guys obliterating him. Same thing with Donovan McNabb. There used to be a time in this city where if a guy failed, he got his ass kicked.
Donovan
And
McNabb got destroyed.
he got destroyed. Well, how come they don't do that with Hurts? How come it's more like girlfriend and boyfriend and everyone's got this love affair? What happened to the city, Howard? I mean, am I
It's a
wrong
love.
when we say that?
Well, no, they've directed their attention because I don't think, not all Eagles fans, but many Eagles fans just aren't smart enough to understand. They're just not smart enough. They're maybe one of the most passionate in the country as far as a football fan base, but I just don't think enough fans are smart enough. So the easy way, you either blame the coach or the quarterback. They don't want to blame the quarterback because they've fallen in love with Jalen Hurts, and Jalen does this and Jalen does that and Jalen this and Jalen that. But so they go after the coach. And now it's like, what players, I'm trying to think what players on this Philadelphia Eagles team, and obviously they didn't succeed because losing in the first round at home is not succeeding. What player have they criticized? The fan base, what player? You're going to tell me that there's not a player on that team that sucked? There's players on that team that didn't do.
Well, who had a good year offensively this year, you think? Nobody.
Well, Saquon still had just under 1,500 yards, but it wasn't.
No. He had 1,000. He didn't have a.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
He had 1,008 or some 1,003.
Oh, okay. So that I was wrong. Okay. I thought he had a bonus for 1,500 yards.
No.
So, okay. So that's not, so he didn't have a successful year, but he's coming off all those touches the year before.
755 carries I added up in 2 years for him.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. So I understand why he didn't. He's got to get stronger again. And again, the offensive line wasn't as good, but he just wasn't. Once he gets past the first level, he's pretty good, but he would get past the first level better than he did this year. Last year, he got into the second level, so he didn't have a good enough year. Good, a terrific guy, and he'll take the responsibility. Devontae Smith he's a terrific person and a terrific wide receiver. But who didn't have a good Lane Johnson was banged up, so you can't really fault him. Cam Jurgens didn't have the same kind of year that he had the year before. I'm going to do this, and it's just and I love Jason Kelce, but he spoke in the last few days. When they don't speak about Taylor Swift, they actually talk football. It's just, but they get people to watch talking about Taylor Swift, who I love. That family, the family's terrific, and I know the family. But he talked about the issues with the Eagles and never once mentioned the name Jalen Hurts.
No way.
Don't you have to mention him in some way as the previous center? Some of the challenges and some of the issues as the previous center of this football team. So, Jason, it's brutal. It's brutal. That's embarrassing. I'm going to tell Jason Kelce, that's embarrassing that you didn't bring up his name. Hey, listen, there's other people. So who had a good year? I think Devontae Smith still had a good, solid year. On offense, Bixby, but he's a backup running back. I mean,
yeah. Now we're going to the second tier of the auditorium.
I'm telling. Well, look at when the team scores less than 20 points against the 7 winning teams. Okay,
Howard. How about this here? So we all agreed that Carson Wentz's window was probably 5 years that he had where he thought maybe he played well. So now
He was the MVP the year that they won
he
the
won the
Super
Burt
Bowl.
Bell Award. Okay, he
Yeah.
won that award. He was up
Yeah.
again 11-2 when he got knocked out in that game, I believe, against the
It was
Rams.
in L.A. Threw a touchdown pass with
and,
a torn
and walked off the field
ACL.
right after.
Yeah, and they knew he was hurt. He came over to the sidelines, and he didn't know what he had, but he knew he was hurt. And Doug Peterson said, basically, can you give me one more play?
So he has a small window, and I say this, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. Well, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts' time. I always said this. I never thought this was for a long period of time. I thought this was going to be around 7-8 years where you were going to have a productive quarterback that was going to help you win a lot of games. And now that the league is caught up with what this guy is and this guy isn't, that you're starting to see the tail end going the other way. He's not a progression reader. He throws to the numbers. He rolls out. He's not very good in the pocket. And you're starting to see teams catch up with that right now. And you're starting to see the end. This is more towards the end than it is still the middle. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Yeah, I agree. He's got to evolve. And next year is the year he's got to evolve. We'll see. And again, I don't think it's all the coach. The coach can say he wants to play, but if he's not comfortable running the play, it's pretty simple. During the week, it's usually Thursday that the quarterback and the head coach and the offensive coordinator, and I know Jeff Stoutland's in those meetings because he's very involved with the offense. They get together. Okay, here's what we like, the coaches, and Jalen, what do you like? So they talk about the things that he's comfortable with. So apparently he's not comfortable with. You're going to tell me they want to run an offense that really doesn't have a lot of imagination. You know, they had a trick play on the tush push. Okay, great. And they do a shovel pass. Okay, that's basic stuff, which can't be a fumble because it's a forward pass. So it's a low risk play that the teams aren't going to guard against that much. But other than that, what do they do?
Nothing.
But, I'm telling you, it's not the coaches that don't want to do that.
No.
The coaches want to do that.
Quarterback can't.
Yeah, or can't or is not comfortable with it.
Howard, even you have a little bit being uncomfortable saying that about Hurts, that, the guy's just limited. And that's why Nick's limited. Nick's not a limit. Here's a number for you. When he was working with Frank Wright in San Diego, when the team was still there, the Chargers, Philip Rivers threw the ball 690 times, and he was the passing coordinator of that team. This guy here a year ago threw the ball 361 times. And again, the pass has no creativity. You think Nick got stupid overnight? You think it's stupid overnight?
No.
He knows what the guy is.
But a coach will never force. I like Chip Kelly, not as an NFL coach.
As a coordinator, maybe, right?
Yeah, right, as a coordinator. But he kind of forces things that he likes that players he might not have the right player to do that. And Nick Sirianni does not do that. He wants Jalen Hurts to be comfortable. They started taking, Nick brought up, they took snaps under center this year. So Jalen will do whatever you want him to do.
That's a cosmetic fix.
Well, yeah. It's just, but they kind of backed off that a little bit the last, 4 or 5 games. They didn't take as many snaps under center because apparently, I'll say apparently, but I know he's not comfortable taking the snap under center.
Why isn't he comfortable taking there?
Well, because he's not tall enough. He feels like he can't see well enough into the secondary.
I completely agree. I'm not putting an under 6'2" quarterback in my huddle.
Well, sometimes it's an under. You have some. How big is Caleb Williams? How big is Bo Nix?
Well, what's the one thing they do with Caleb Williams? They roll him out, get him out in the open, so he makes plays out in the open.
That's he's looking downfield. He looks downfield.
Right. He keeps his head downfield, doesn't drop his head like Hurts does. So let me ask you this: What do you think the next moves are for this team here? Is it going to be same old next year? Or do you think we're going to be looking at exactly is this more about health? Is this going to be more about direction? New OC? I mean, what are they going to be a Super Bowl contending team next year?
Well, they'll be a Super Bowl contending team, but they've got some work to do to be a real Super Bowl team. And I mean, just getting there, because the league's getting better. The league's getting better. I don't know how long Stafford's going to last. So how long are the Rams going to hold up? Seattle, how long are they going to be good?
Bears are getting better.
The Bears, obviously, I think the Giants will be better next year in their division. I don't know that they're going to win the division.
Packers aren't going anywhere. They're getting Parsons back.
No. So the Packers aren't good enough. Detroit might rebound from their season.
They're going to have a last place schedule, Howard, because they finished in last place in that division. So I guarantee you they're probably going to be a really big time contender to win 12 or 13 ball games next year if everybody comes back healthy.
Apparently Atlanta is a place that they talk about coaches may want to go because they have some good upside. So is Atlanta going to be better? It's not going to be that easy. Well, it's never easy. I should never even say it's close to easy. It's not easy to get to a Super Bowl, but they got some work ahead of them, and the offensive line's got to get better. It's not going to be like it was last year. Lane Johnson is older. He's still a stud when he's healthy, and he's really good. Is your center going to?
You still think Barkley's a stud?
I think he's a good running back. He's not going to be a 2,000. I mean, that's ridiculous to think he's a 2,000-yard back, but I think he's a solid back. But if teams keep on putting those 5-man fronts and forcing the quarterback's got to be able to be better at what he does. And again, good, but is he good enough? And can he evolve? Remember, he's people point to the fact that he was a Super Bowl MVP. First of all, I think the defense was an MVP because they shut him down at the beginning. But Zach Bowen had a great game, but you never give a linebacker. Who was it? One guy. Was it Danny White? And he's not really a linebacker. He's like an edge rusher.
Actually, it was a guy who lost the Super Bowl with the Cowboys. I forget his name. He won it. Randy White and Harvey Martin split. They were kind of like D linemen. There was a guy that played for the Cowboys in a loss when they lost to the Colts back in the day, who ended up winning the MVP award. Ray Lewis won one as a linebacker. He won an MVP.
Yeah, but Ray Lewis is above Zach Bowen. But it's like when Eli Manning won the MVP when the Giants beat the undefeated Patriots. That defense was the MVP. Whether it was Strahan, there was somebody else on the defensive line. Was it Umanura? Who played his ass off.
Yeah, Justin Tuck too.
Yeah, okay. So that they were the MVPs, not Eli Manning. But the reality is they don't name that. So he was an MVP. Again, my point is, people say he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Yeah, but they had Barkley too, who was a stud. So it changed the dynamic. Hey, they always give it to the quarterback. So that's all right. He played a good game. But and everything was good for the Eagles. The offensive line, the running game, the wide receivers, everybody was really good on offense around him.
Let me ask you this about Nick Sirianni. Do you think he enjoys coaching Jalen Hurts deep down? If you gave him true serum, do you think he enjoyed not the man, the style of play? Do you think he enjoys coaching that guy?
I'm going to give you a non-answer answer. I think he'd rather coach Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow or Josh Allen.
Holy cow, Howard, you're going into politics on me here, man. Oh, man.
Wouldn't you rather coach those guys?
Yeah,
I just mentioned
Jalen Hurts' style of play. I have no interest in that.
No. Wouldn't you rather coach Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow?
I'd rather coach a 45-year-old Phillip Rivers.
You know what? I give him credit for coming back. He pushed back his Hall of Fame eligibility another 5 years, but he was smart enough. He now gets medical insurance, and he's got 10 kids.
Yeah. No, he extended it. He did. So
he extended his medical insurance
today. So what was that? I mean, I don't know, man. Back in the day, I remember, man, people used to be so afraid of Philly media. Now it sounds like you guys are passing flowers out to guys sitting in the pit. I heard this thing today. In the middle of a press conference, all of a sudden, hey, here's Howie. Nick, we have an elite coach here. I mean, and you're like, you just got bounced by a football team that used a practice squad, and you're sitting in front of the Philly media glazing one another. I mean, Howard, that was embarrassing today.
Well, some of the questions are ridiculous. And there's going to be non-answers. I guess sometimes you got to ask it. There was a question asked early, which was such a ridiculous question when you don't even have your offense up. I forget what the question was. You don't even have your offense coordinator, and asked a question about, are you going to call the play? Well, it's too early for that. Like, are you kidding me? But I forget what the question was. But they're not going to answer any questions anyway. They are trained. They are trained to not answer questions. They are trained to not answer questions. But that's what press conferences are today. When I had Herm Edwards on, I says, Herm, they're not like you were. He says, they're trying to, you worry about offending the guys making 20, so 25, $30 million.
Villanova. These guys go over to Villanova, and there's Bob Lang teaching how you avoid questions 101. Is that right? Hey, this is how, guess this. Do me a favor. I got to get rid of Howard Eskin. I got to get rid of Angelo. I got to get rid of Ray Didinger. I got to get rid of all these guys. And I've got to put snowflakes in there. And now, guess what? We now own Philly now because we can control the narrative. That's what it sounded like to me. I was like this. Bro, you just got bounced.
Hey, listen, I understand some of the questions, but some questions you can do. Is Lane Johnson going to come back next year?
Sure, that's
and he says, wait a minute. Yeah, but here's the thing. He said, well, that's up to Lane. He says, we haven't spoken to Lane. We hope he comes back because he's an elite player. Everybody throws Hall of Fame in front of everybody now, but he is a Hall of Famer.
He is.
But, well, that's a private conversation. No, it's not. Just say, listen, we'd love to have him come back because he still can really play the game at a high level. What's wrong with that? And if he wants to, he's welcome. Rather than it's a discussion between the both of between us.
What's the one question you want answered off this 2025 season that you'd like to hear them addressed? I know. Get this: when they asked the AJ Brown question, they danced around that.
They danced around that too.
They did. They gave you a lawyer's answer.
What can a new offensive, again, just off the top of my head, I'd have to think as the news conference goes on, something that they said that I'd want to follow up. What could a new offensive coordinator do that Kevin Patullo didn't do?
They're not answering that either.
Well, no, I know they're not.
You're taking a shot at the quarterback when you do that.
I am?
Yeah, you are.
You asked me what question I would ask.
That's a shot at Jalen, man. When you do, I know what you're doing when you do that. As soon as you said it, I'm like, so what is the new OC going to do that, KP didn't do? So what are you saying? KP didn't do anything for Jalen?
Well, no. Wait a minute. You guys talked about the last play before you ran the last play. And now people are criticizing the four verticals, and Jason Avant pointed out that you have a crossing pattern with two guys coming together and all those other. You talked about the play. How did you come up with the play, and how much involvement did Jalen Hurts have in that play? Because they were all talking, right?
You think he said in that huddle, I don't want to run that one, I'll run that one?
I think they know body language can probably tell you certain things.
Do you think they had multiple plays at that moment with the season on the line? They called the timeout. They came down.
Hey, what about this? What about this?
What about this and this?
Yeah, I know.
Don't you think the quarterback made the fun? Didn't the quarterback go like this, or was it Nick, or was it Kevin Patullo? I know this, right?
Hey, if the quarterback wants to run a play that he's going to be comfortable with, I think they'll allow him to do it.
That. But if I'm sitting there on the sidelines, Howard, and I've got Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and Kevin Patullo, the last guy I'm going to ask in that huddle is the least experienced guy. I'm going to look at Nick, or I'm going to look to the quarterback, aren't you? I mean, you're going to put the season on the line with a guy who's a first-time play caller who's never been in that moment.
Well, here I'll give you one further. They knew, and I mentioned it, just because of what goes on in Philadelphia with these nitwits, morons, and dopes. Right. Some of the people in this fan base. Just what goes on, you knew there was going to be a change there. So you're going to put the last play call, and people blame Kevin Patullo. Do you think Kevin Patullo made that final decision on that play?
Absolutely not.
I think he's third in line.
Yeah,
I think first is Nick, second is the quarterback, and third is Kevin Patullo.
Yeah.
Okay, you think I'm out of line by saying that?
No, I think that's exactly the progression.
Well, you'll put some crap out there to make me sound like I'm out of line. But
no. Listen. Well, I mean, hey, when you're talking to me, what's the one thing I'd like to know? What's Kevin Patullo? What's the new guy going to do that the other guy didn't do? Well, it's a shot at the quarterback. Hey, Howard. No, but honestly, so there probably was about 3 or 4 plays in that last fourth down play. Kevin Patullo put him out there. Nick goes, because you could even see Nick turning going, what do you think? And Hurts goes like this. Well, let's run this one here. Hurts went back to the huddle. That final call was his.
Well, it certainly wasn't Kevin Patullo's. I think you can.
And I don't believe it was Nick's.
It might have been 50-50 Nick and Jalen Hurts.
What would they know about a passing game, Howard?
Nick's an offensive. Nick Sirianni's an offensive coach.
I'm going to give you 2 last ones here. Do you think they give this guy a contract extension?
Who?
Hurts.
Well, he's technically got 2 years left.
Okay.
Next year and the year after, which is not as big. It's not a $50 million hit, or 50-some million.
So if he has the same season he has in 26.
There's no way. It's just people start talking about it. Usually you try to get ahead of it a little bit. They have to be on drugs if they give him an extension before next year. It might be just aspirin. I mean, who knows? It's just because they have a headache from everybody yelling at them.
Boy, I'd like to get you on truth serum a little more because I think you know more behind the scenes of what you're giving me. Because I think you give me that. You're too much of a professional for me to trick you. I can't trick you.
I get killed by a lot of these nitwits. And I guess I dealt with it all my career. And I don't guess, I know I have. And people say, well, you're not on the sidelines anymore, so now you criticize him. No, well,
that's not what that is.
No, I know, because the years I was on the sidelines for the last 5 years, they were a good football team.
How many years were you?
And they're a good football at 14. I did 14. How
many years were you in Afternoon Drive?
25 years.
How many years you been on the radio?
Since 19 on the radio, since 75, 76.
Hold on. Okay, I went to Miami, so give me a second here.
That's about 40 years. At 75 is 40 years.
And you were on the sidelines, what?
Wait a minute, it's more than that. It's 50 years. What am I talking about? 40 years.
What do you? Hold. Now, see, now you make me, because what I don't know. Maybe
it's 50 years. And I'm only 37 years old.
Hold on here. Okay, 2025. 50 years. Okay.
Right, 50
How many years were you on the sidelines?
14.
14 years.
14. Yeah, 14.
Well, 50 years on the radio. 14 years of that was on. Well, I'm going to take the guy who was on here for 50 years. More than I'm going to take the guy who was on the sidelines You don't need a sideline gig. You're on the air 50 years. I'm on the air 30, and I think that's long.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
you're 50
I've
years.
done 8,000 sports talk shows. 8,000. That's the most of anybody in the country.
Well, then,
because nobody wants to last that long.
No. No. You've done more shows than Francesa.
Yeah, I know. And it's just, and he's had a great career too. So.
Oh, listen, if I was going to give my Mount Rushmore of talk show host of all time, because that was kind of like the second generation after you guys, maybe the third after you guys. So I'll go here. Here's my guys. And I'll be interested to see what you think. So I've got you. I've got Francesa.
Yep.
I've got Mike North in Chicago.
Yeah, he's been around quite a while. Yeah.
And there's another guy that I would put.
There used to be a guy in Texas, but he's not working anymore.
I got Hacksaw Hamilton out west. Lee Hacksaw Hamilton.
Yep.
Was the guy out there. Those would be the four dudes that I would say. Pete Franklin would be another guy, too, that you could probably put in that category.
You know what? That at WFAN asked me when I don't know if he passed away.
He did. He worked with me at KMBR.
Okay.
Because after he got fired from FAN, I started my career at KMBR.
Oh, so did he get fired at FAN, Pete Franklin?
He got fired because, remember, what they did was what you guys were smart to do. You guys put local guys in. Remember, they had like national guys at the very first hirings. And
they talked to me about replacing him.
Jim Lampley. Remember, they had Jim Lampley and all them guys up
there.
He's
not a talk show guy. No.
They're not local New York guys. They don't even know the boroughs. I mean, what are you going to do up there? You're not going to talk.
It's too many boroughs anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, you South Philly. I mean, you're not going to put a non-Philly guy at these stations. That's why you see all these retreads keep going back. But they're afraid of you guys. So, I mean, there were certain guys that really I thought were the staple of sports talk radio. And I remember you on 610.
I was on an FM station well before I did the first sports talk show on WIP in 86. There was an FM station, WWDB 96.5. And I
is this the one they mentioned in the Rocky movie?
I'm not sure. But it was 1979. 79 to 82. Then I did part-time because I went into TV. And then when I only did a 10 o'clock news, the guy running WIP wanted to make it an all sports station, a guy named Mike Craven.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I would do a sports talk show in the afternoon drive, because I only had a 10 o'clock news at that time when I left.
Did you ever work with Facenda?
With who?
John Facenda?
No, I worked at Channel 10 back rather than network.
He was an anchor, right? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
He was a sports
guy. I actually only met him
really?
Once or twice. Yeah. I only met him once or twice. But yeah, I was younger. I wasn't at Channel 10 at that time, but I went to Channel 3 was my first television station. But again, I was doing part-time sports talk. So technically I've been doing sports talk since 1979. So.
How much has it changed since that time to where it is now? Has it changed for the better or the worst?
Well, it's not as good.
It's
not as good because it's all about, and I don't like the term, but I use it because it's all about hot takes. How about having strong opinions based on some solid facts, or at least you did research on solid facts, and nobody does, rarely. And I don't know about outside the market. Rarely do people do that anymore. And I think that's important. You can have a strong opinion, but at least try to back it up with some solid insight and solid research and solid information that you've gotten from people.
I got to give you a Harry Callis story.
Love Harry Callis.
Here's a Harry Callis. Todd Callis worked for the Rays for a while.
Yeah, I did a game with Todd Callis for a cable station down there. I was the color guy. He was the play-by-play guy.
When they were down there in Clearwater?
Yeah, I'm the only guy that worked with Harry and his son.
Yeah, so check it out. So I got to be friends with him, and then he heard me down there on
terrific person.
WDAE. So I get a
Right.
call from my PD, and he goes, "Hey, Harry Callis wants to go to lunch with you." And I'm like, "The guy in Philly, Harry Callis,
Yeah.
the guy NFL films too, right?" And
Yep.
he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." So Todd brings me to lunch. We have lunch in Tampa, and we're sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, I heard you, man. You're really great. I really appreciate how you take. You remind me a lot of the people in Philly." And I'm going like, I'm sitting there going, I look over at Todd and I go, "This is really your dad? Come on, this is a setup. I thought this was gonna like fish me or something." And he was like, "What a great guy! What a great." Every time he came to Philly, or every time he came to Tampa, always came on because you guys would always go to Clearwater. Frank Kona and I became friends, and that's how I showed you my Dick Allen ball that I have on my desk here because I loved Wampum. I loved Dick Allen. And every time that Frank Sessa would come, or Frank Kona would come to town when he was the manager of the Phillies, Harry Callis would come in and go, "Hey, let's all go to lunch." I'm sitting at lunch in Clearwater with Harry Callis and Terry Francona and Dick Allen, and I'm going like, I went to heaven. Dick Allen was
Dick
my
Allen,
favorite player.
much. Dick Allen was a kind of a quiet guy. I knew Dick.
Man, I loved him. Man, he was my.
It was my childhood idol, one of my childhood idols.
Hey, I got to show you this, man. I think I've showed it to you before. There's my Dick Allen baseball.
Yeah,
he signed it for me. Man, I mean,
I got a bat. I got a bat of his, 41 ounces. Heaviest bat that nobody swings.
Yeah, nobody swung. I mean, like, I think the Babe's the only other guy to swing a bat that big like that, right?
Yeah.
So you think it's changed? There's just not really good sports guys.
It's the same drivel most of the day, and it's just over and over and over, and there's no fresh approach. There's not enough. My son does a good job, but it's not enough of a fresh approach in sports talk radio anymore.
I would like to be at a holiday dinner with the Eskins and hear this stuff going on. I'd like to know how Spike handles, "Hey, your old man, he's such an ass."
We do not talk anything about the radio station or about the 76ers. Because he bought it.
No Cone Embiid.
Because he bought into the process because he still was drinking the Kool-Aid for years and years and years. But they stink. It's just they're so average. You know what? If you look in the dictionary and see average, you don't see Embiid. You see the Sixers because Embiid's not average anymore.
Hey, what do you think the move the Phillies made in the offseason here?
Did they make any moves?
No, not really. No.
Hey, listen, if they don't make another move, and I don't know that they're going to get Bo Bichette, he's just at best an average defensive player, so they don't improve themselves defensively. But he makes more contact than almost all the guys in that lineup, except Alec Bowman.
You're not sold on Shugart?
On who?
Shugart?
Who?
Both.
No. And the right fielder they got is not going to have the same numbers as Castellanos. Castellanos will have that. He's a better right fielder defensively, but he's not going to have the same numbers, and he'll strike out a ton of times too. So I don't know. They're locked into too many big contracts. They're locked into too many. They're not a World Series team.
Brad Keller.
Oh yeah, just please.
Hey, Bo Bichette, I'll tell you, okay, because when he was growing up in Orlando, obviously his dad is.
Yeah.
And so Dante Bichette.
Yeah.
And so he grew up in Orlando, and he had a really, really great when he was younger. He was like a Babe Ruth superstar, and I used to see the kid, and I had the kid on my show when he was a small guy. I actually like him, Howard. I think he's a good ball player, man. I don't know if
he's a solid offensive
ball player. I don't know if he's
player.
special, but I think he's a pretty good ball player.
No, I don't think he's special. I think he's a good ball player. He'll make more contact. He'll strike out less, which they need that in the lineup. But they'll be getting rid of Alec Bohm, who, if there's any player on that team I want at the plate with a man on third and less than 2 outs, the one player on that team I want is Alec Bohm, and nobody gives him because he makes contact. And the players in that lineup don't. So the Phillies they'll be okay, but they're not a World Series team. And got to go through another year, 162 games of talking about Red October. I mean, give me a break.
Zach Pop. You hear it?
Yeah.
Dave Dombrowski's working his ass off, isn't he? Hey, Howard, where can people find you, man, and tell them how they can? Because, by the way, make sure you watch that show from last night. Because
find me on a bridge ready to jump because you'll make me sound like I'm killing people.
You are killing people. And this is what I love about you. What'd you make of LeBron James patch? The 23 years that he's been in the league. So the NBA's got a special patch now for him.
No.
It says 20. Yeah, you got to Google it. It says 23rd year for LeBron James playing in the NBA. And he gets a chance to wear it all year long.
Yeah, I mean, first LeFraud James is what I call him. He craves attention. He was a great player. He's not one of the top 5 all time. He's not. He's probably 7 or 8. But he just, he's stealing money now because he's just trying to build up his points. Plays no defense. It's just, and he stayed with the Lakers to build up points and to get his son on the Lakers. That's what he did. But for the NBA, to 23 is Michael Jordan. 23 is Michael Jordan.
That's why he did it. That's the point why he did it.
I know. It's just, you're not Michael Jordan. Hey, bro, you're not Michael Jordan, and you never will be, and you're not even the same. I'll give you, here's the way I look at great players. Who do you want in the last 2 minutes of a game? And I'll give you 3 guys.
Okay.
I'll give you 4 guys.
Let me do this here. Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Well, here, Michael Jordan from 25, or would you take Kareem with the sky hook on the box with 2 minutes left in a ball game?
Well,
who would you want to take the last shot? MJ from 20 or Kareem on the box from 5?
Kareem is probably above LeFraud James, but here's the guys I'm going to give you because they can create, and Kareem's got the one shot, and Kareem's really, really good. But Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, or LeFraud James?
Jeez, it comes down.
Larry Bird's a better shooter.
It comes down to Kobe and Larry.
Kobe's a better shooter. I'm not. And
Kobe Michael ain't a better shooter than Bird. No way.
What's that?
Kobe ain't a better shooter than Bird. No way.
No, I'm not Kobe. I'm talking about than LeFraud James. Yeah,
that guy's not taking.
And for how many years he couldn't shoot fouls? How many years that he wasn't a good foul shooter?
I'm not.
Larry Bird, take a look at the highlights of Larry Bird that you see online every once in a while.
No, I'll take Magic Johnson with the last seconds on the line.
Well, but he's not going to be able to create a shot. He'll make a pass, but nonetheless, guys
you take in the last 10 seconds of a game, if you had to get one shot, wouldn't you take Steph Curry over LeBron?
Yeah, I didn't even put Steph Curry in the mix yet, but Steph Curry's a better player than LeFraud James too.
23rd. He did it because it's a shot at Jordan. It's his 23rd season, so he can wear the patch. And I'm like, dude.
Wait a minute. The NBA didn't put a patch out, did they?
No, the NBA allowed it. The NBA gave it up.
So he did it on his own jersey?
Yep. Nobody's wearing it. He's wearing it.
That's a disgrace. The NBA, just, you're going to fold under.
What's next? They're going to change the logo from Jerry West to him?
Yeah. I mean, it's just hey, we didn't even mention Oscar Robertson, who had a triple-double when you didn't pad the stats. Averaged a triple-double when they didn't pad the stats.
Point line.
Right. I'm telling you. Hey, Michael Jordan didn't take that many threes. That's why LeFraud's
Remember this. Kareem didn't win a title in Milwaukee until they made the trade with the Royals to bring him up to Milwaukee and put his rear end up there. He ends up winning that NBA championship. He never won a championship in Los Angeles until they drafted Magic. He had to have a point. Yeah. There had to be a point and a shooting point guy that could make the perimeter to open up the underneath because back then you played on the pivot. Nowadays, who's the best center in the game? These guys who take threes?
Yeah. Well, the best center in the game might be Wemby.
He is really good.
Because he can't.
He needs a meal, but he's really good.
You know what? Joel Embiid shooting from, and he keeps on taking threes. You know what his percentage is from three this year?
28%.
22. And he's still taking the shots.
I know. I mean, well, when you're a driving cone, you're not really going to go anywhere. Howard, this weekend, you got anything going on this weekend?
No, I just we talk about the football games, but I want to hear from the people. I have people join the show. I want to hear from the people, and I'll listen to hear what they think the issues are and whether a new offensive coordinator will do that. So Saturday at 8 Eastern
Hold
time.
on. You open your show up to people now? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I open my show to people.
So would you say you're getting softer as you're getting older?
No. Well, I don't think so.
Well, wait a minute. I heard stories that crazy PD that you used to have there, who used to have the spotlight on there when you had to get out in a minute. Who you had that maniac
Tom Bigby, may rest in peace.
Yeah, Tom Bigby had a light for these guys that if a caller like any of you guys would call in.
2 minutes.
Yeah, and it went more than 2 minutes. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
Get them out of here, right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. They told me. They had a guy.
Yeah, that's all right. I dealt with him. I dealt with a lot of people.
Angelo hated his guts. But then again, like
I know. Well, Angelo, how many people does Angelo like?
I not met one. Wait, let me think. Have I heard any? Who does he like? He liked Doug Peterson.
He did?
Did he? That's what he's. I thought I heard him say he liked Doug.
I don't even know if he liked Doug Peterson. I don't know.
He likes Hurts.
He likes Hurts? No, he doesn't.
He does. He thinks Hurts is tremendous. He thinks Hurts is a winner. He thinks Hurts is.
That's because he knows whatever.
He hates Nick Sirianni, though, man.
I know he does.
You know why? Because he didn't say goodbye to him in his last week. Say it, Howard. Howard, I'll see you, brother, man. I really enjoyed talking with you. Thank you.
Have a good day and a better day tomorrow.